Okay, so now we're gonna double check some files that a customer sent in and were approved. But although they are approved, we need to make sure that they actually meet the requirements for production. So let's go ahead. If you see, we have two files. Since this is a brochure, this requires a folding die. So this is for the three panels, just to make sure that everything is according, and the one without the die, which is the one that we print. So first thing that we need to do is double check that everything is in CMYK levels. Anything in RGB or in Pantone, otherwise, that's paid for in the order, needs to be changed, and those labels are usually done or updated when going through the pre-flight process. So if you see here, it's in CMYK, images in CMYK, and if you click here on the little like camera in PetStop, it lets you see the resolution. So this one's totally fine. And we have any more images? No. Okay, so we go back here to the fill and line section, so it's showing us that everything is in CMYK. Now we need to take a look at the text. So if you see here, this is actually good that the text comes in outlines. Sometimes customers forget to embed the font, so it's usually best if you ask them for the fonts in outlines. That way it goes fine through the pre-flight profile and we're good. However, this is wrong. What happens is that this comes in 4 inks. When we print text, printing it in 4 inks is basically a recipe for disaster because the press has to lay the type 4 times. First blue, then magenta, then yellow, then black. What happens is that it's not 100% accurate. So what may happen is that it may be smudged. Anything could happen. So as a print recommendation, we usually ask for the customers to place the black only, to place the text in only black ink. So customers are a bit lazy. They usually don't have time to do it, so we gotta do it. And PitStop has a great tool. Another way to double check that text is all in black, you go here in Acrobat, print production, output preview. And this will let you manage all the channels. So best way to do it is turning off the black. And guess what? Text still showing in yellow, magenta, and cyan. So we gotta fix that. So PetStop has a really neat tool that's called, it's your global changes, which basically lets you make all sorts of changes to all the basically all the values in a PDF file. So I have my recent, which is my favorite, which is change a specific color. So we click here on the settings little tool and we hit edit. So you gotta be careful and select this one, the one that you want to change, and hit grab fill. If you see, it will pull up the same labels that I have here in the inspector. Now we gotta put here what we want it to turn. So it's from and to. So no cyan, no magenta, no yellow, but 100% black. So we go ahead and hit save and run. And it's running. And now if you pull up the inspector, it shows that it's been updated. And that's exactly how every text should be. The only exception is when maybe they're requesting a very dark blue like this one, where the percentage of cyan is larger than the percentage of black, or a gray that's tending towards the blue or the red that has a higher hue than black, then there's an exception, but it has to be mentioned that it has to be intentional. So let's double check. I'm gonna save this. Let's double check if everything was changed, because there's a little surprise that sometimes comes by that some files come with customers use different tones of black, so you have to do the global change a couple of times. So it's this one. Now let's go ahead and we go change a specific color, edit, and we update it, grab fill, and if you see, it's just a bit different. And we have the value saved, so save and run. There we go. So once again, we double check with the inspector and it's all looking good. There we go. Let me just double check this one. Oh, it's 100. Good. Now let's go to the back. Okay, so it looks like everything was changed, but quickest way to do so, here. So the text is gone. Text is gone. This white outline is actually fine because it means that, you know, on top of the white, only black will be printed, and there's no mistake there. And here we go. So that's the best way to double check that the text is good for print. Another thing you need to check is that the trim box here is according to the crop marks. This is an 8.5 by 11. So I turn it on here with the guidelines. And if you see here, this bleeds out perfectly, at least a 1/4 inch outside. Images, everything bleeds out. So this is the file is actually ready for print, so it's good for uploading.